welcome to Lay Back with Betfair. Joined by the A-team, we're back.
Hello, Merry Christmas from everyone at Betfair. It is Lay Back with Betfair. Liam Clancey, Tom Haylock joining you. We'll run through all the races we're keen on Boxing Day. Liam, how are you? Great, man?
Very well, Thomas. Very exciting time of year. Everyone's got a bit of buzz in the air. Everyone's got to get a little bit tipsy and having a good time. So very much looking forward to it. We've had Saturday racing yesterday, and now we've got Boxing Day on Tuesday to look forward to. So very excited and keen to see what you're betting on.
Where in the world are you at the moment, mate? And are you going to the cricket Boxing Day? What are you doing Boxing Day?
It's a beautiful sunny Melbourne day where I am currently, staying here and then heading down to the lovely beach town of Inverloch tomorrow for a couple of days. So I'll be watching the test match from the front bar of the SB, I reckon. What about yourself?
How good. I'm in my brother's spare room in Adelaide at the moment. Family over here, so we'll see how we go. We'll be glued to the TV on Boxing Day, as I'm sure everyone will be. It's a great day to be a punter. There's so many races, and let's get stuck into it. We've got Caulfield, Randwick as well. I'm even taking a look at one at Newcastle, Liam. We'll touch on that as well. So plenty to cover. Let's start with Caulfield, mates. So race 3. I don't know if you've had a look at the race, but I certainly have.
No, I haven't had much of a look at race 3, but I'm keen for you to find one there because it's one of the only races I haven't looked at there. So it'd be nice to have one to have a throw at the stumps with.
I don't know what you've done with the weather. That's the first thing. So Christmas Day, 2 to 30 mils potentially forecast. We could be on, again, we keep saying this, week in, week out at the moment, Liam. Could be on a heavy 9, or we could be on a good 3. Who knows? What are you looking at the track?
It's frustrating, obviously. They're not really keen to have much of a go, the Bureau, after we give them absolute rubbish every week. But I'm tailored towards a soft for both Melbourne and Sydney. As you say, it could get heavy. It could stay good. But I think I'm just, given that we're playing early, I'm just focusing on the runners that I know will be able to handle the soft if it does come. So obviously the confidence levels will go up a lot more on Boxing Day morning when we know a bit more about the track. But at this stage, focusing on runners that I know will be able to handle soft.
I reckon we'll be on a soft 5 at a guess to a good 4. I think the track drains pretty well, and Boxing Day itself should be okay. So we'll see how we go. Race 3, as you said, it's a fascinating race in the fact that it's a big field. We've got 3 horses that I actually give a chance to that I've basically marked as non-running. They've got 3 horses without jockeys booked, so that's a little nuance to the race. Either way, I've done the race. I've got Explosive Thinker on top for Jamie Carr, leads Matt horse. It's where Jamie Carr's happy at the moment, leading, settle outside lead up, and she will be up there. So really good 1,200 metre victory first up. Liam settled outside lead there, sprinted clear at Moonee Valley. It was I love what he did in his final 50 metres. He just put the race to bed in a quick fashion. He was 1,400 metres to end his campaign, and he failed there, but he won 3 back over 14. I just think he may have been at the end of that 1,400 metre race at the end of the last campaign. He did have excuses there. I think he can roll forward here, Explosive Thinker, and I've got him clearly on top and happy with him there, mate. So he's a nice, it would be favourite. Depends if some of these run. Valois has got class about him. It was fantastic over 1,200 metres. I was just worried 1,000, 1,200, 1,400 metres. And I think the stable are tossing up whether to run, and this race could change complexion completely if we get onto a wet track as well. So a few little queries there, but either way, I've looked at it. Explosive Thinker on top for me, mate.
Yeah, that sale victory over the 1,400 rated through the roof, and that was on a soft 6, so always a good sign there. The Sandown next up was back to a soft 7 when, as you said, had to do a bit much work in front. So that sale rating would, it'd buoy my confidence levels.
There you go. I'm glad you're following me in. Let's have a look at race 4, mates. It's a benchmark 70 over 1,600 metres. Who have you got on top here?
It should be a fairly self-explanatory race here. I think this is a watch on, and just hopefully we see a very impressive horse continue to go through her grades. Plenty of ammo. There only looks to be 2 leaders in the race. Plenty of ammo, and my mate Sonny. They can control the tempo from the front. Plenty of ammo. That last start over 1,600 stays at a mile here. on Tuesday it is, and she's just completely switched off late. Could have won by another 2 or 3 lengths. Already won by 4.5. Really keen to see what this horse can do. We're $1.40, so not jumping in at that price. If I was forced, funnily enough, I've got it marked $1.60. And
you probably get close to that on Betfair, so.
And I don't think Hard to Cross is going to run, given it ran yesterday as well. So that was my clear second elect, which just brings plenty of ammo into really solid areas. If I was going to have a bet on the race outside of it, my mate Sonny the Place is probably the one that I would find. I'd be keen to back it now, fixed prices, because there's 8 in the market. We're getting $2.10, and if Hard to Cross comes out like we expect it will, it'll go down to a 2-place div, and if we back it now, we get to keep that 3rd-place dividend. So I'd be keen to back that one if I was going to play in the race, but just really keen to see how plenty of ammo goes.
Yeah, don't mind the wide barrier. Jordan Trolls know the horse well. He rolls forward, and he's a good jockey up on speed, like his old man, and ticks plenty of boxes. She does, this 5-year-old mare, mate, so she'll be very hard to beat there. Let's move on. Race 6. Interesting race. I think you're against one here, but let's talk us through this race, Liam.
Yeah, plenty of horses that we know really well over the 1700 here. This is a listed Lord Stakes. You'd think the Adelaide horse, En Francais, should push to the front, and Keats is going to be really hard to hold out up there as well. I think with the inside barrier, En Francais may be able to just hold Keats out, but it's going to be a nice tussle for the lead. And then it's a pretty steady tempo from there with Don't Doubt Dory outside. Mancayan, Ain't No Deal Done. Ain't No Deal Done, obviously been known to scratch if it gets to a wet track, so keep an eye out for that. The horse that I'm keen to oppose is one that I think will get well back in the field, which is Junipal. Harry Coffey on board. Really nice second behind Keats' last start out at Werribee. I think that was the Werribee Cup it ran in there. And although it went really well, that was the peak for this preparation. And even if it runs to that peak, it still sees the horse come in around that $7 to $8 mark. And currently it is $4.60 on fixed, and you can lay it just over $5. So that's going to be a strong lay for me there. Having that hole in the market means I'm pretty keen to play on one. Another Jamie Carr runner, Zenzella. First up was just a phenomenal effort. Korea peaked that start over the 1600. That was a soft 7, playing for that soft track. So there's a lot of ticks here. Opened up $3, already out to, where are we? $4.25. We can get $5 on the exchange. So I think that's a really nice bet for a horse I've got marked around the 320 mark. So playing against Junipal and with Zenzella in this one.
Got Zenzella mapping outside Junipal here, Liam. We go back.
Well back, yeah. I've got it marked just outside Stars of Karam, Junipal, all around that same mark. But Junipal obviously on the rails. Zenzella just keen to peel out wide late in the race and run on.
Yeah, Jamie Carr's a little bit of concern for me there, just a back marker with her. The way she's riding at the moment's a little clearer for me. I've got Keats on top, Liam. Just ticks so many boxes. Doesn't matter how the track plays. Map, positive horse. I think can work and cross on Francais. I think they'll be happy to just camp behind Keats there, track him into the race, and he'll take you a long way. I've just got Keats as the probably on top of there. Meech rated this horse very well. Great front running rider. So I'm not overly keen to play. I know Dildan's a fascinating horse. Been scratched and hasn't run since late October. It was airborne at the time. I've got no idea how to assess this horse, whether he's had issues, whether it's just been wet tracks. And the track is going to be a huge part because he doesn't get through it and Junipal does. So, it's fascinating.
Yeah, well, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. It was absolutely flying, but just continues to, every single time this horse accepts, it cops a bog track and obviously doesn't go yard. So they're going to keep going out there. I expect the same here. There's got to be a query. It's now 2 months since its last run. It worked up really well from the mile to the 1800 to the 2000, and now it's going to come back to the 1700 after not having run for 2 months. So even if it was dry, I'm leaning towards taking this horse on, but with a hint of rain in the air, absolutely be taking it on.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's move on to race 7, the Christmas Stakes. Listed race. A lot of pressure here, Liam. We've got Midwest, Snapper, Maximilius, Najim Sahale on a quick backup as well. There's a lot of speed. Rose Courts has speed as well, but she can't probably keep up with those. The Astrologist out wide's got a bit of toe. What do you make of this race? It's an interesting race.
Yeah, it's a belter. I think if this was run around a track like Moonee Valley, you'd be very worried about finding any of these front runners just because they're going to go hell for leather. But at Caulfield, that 1100 metre start, with just the one turn, it's not as damaging as many of the other tracks. I've landed just with Najim Sahale on top, a proven backup runner. Again, I've got him marked at $5. We're getting $6.50 at the moment. So very small bet in a race I don't have a lot of confidence in. Rose Quartz seems to get the suck run of the race here. Should just be able to sit one out, one back with Midwest. I'm thinking Midwest from barrier 4 gets the rail. And then Najem Sahale, I'm actually predicting to get outside the leader there. Generation sits in behind Midwest.
Who have you got leading?
Midwest and Najem Sahale, so those two. Yep. And then Generation sits behind Midwest, and Rose Quartz gets the 1-1 there. So gets the plum ride, but just too short for me. Rose Quartz at this point, I think it's into $3.80, which is just crazy in a field like this with this much pressure. Sweet Ride's an interesting runner. Sharippa, the Adelaide horse, is one that's put a couple of really strong ratings together and didn't quite finish off. Went around third last start, but I think it's got plenty of potential. Really keen to see Yonsei finally back at the races. I don't think they'll be trying to win this race, but hopefully runs through the line really well and gets somewhere back near its best. And of the back markers, Curran was fantastic last start, and we're getting $15 on the $15.50 on the exchange right now, and I think that's a terrific play to go with your front runner with Najem Sahale. So small bet Najem Sahale and Curran, and holding our breath that we managed to get across one outside the lead. Do you have any opinion on this race?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Curran because I've got a mark shorter than the current price as well. Off a really high rating last start, it was really good. And of the other one that you gave a push for as well, Scripper. I think it's the map horse, that and Rose Quartz. I probably don't want to lose if Rose Quartz wins. But as you said, probably about the right price now. But Scripper, I've got a touch of value, as do I have with Curran. So Rose Quartz, Scripper, and Curran are my probably plays at the moment in this race. I'm taking on those fighting for the lead. I just went with the map with Rose Quartz and Scripper. They both map really well, and Curran will be the one charging late. So that's how I've seen the race, mates. Let's get to Royal Randwick. What do you make of the meeting?
There's probably a bit more quality going around up there. But as we're about to mention with this Summer Cup, which is the Group 3, the feature of the day, we often see these horses going around each other, and very few of them seem to put more than one strong run together. So we'll be trying to find a bit of value there. And I think you're going to handle us one early in the program, race number 4, is it?
Yeah, I've taken a good look at race 4 here, and I'm pretty keen to take a horse on in Divine Vicky. This is a map negative horse, goes back to last. I can't believe it's open equal favourite. It's a glorified midweek race, this, for benchmark 72. There's not many city runners in this race, and I can't have Divine Vicky off one Randwick run where finished 4th, had all favours, had a really good ride by Ashley Morgan there, but draws 11 here, outside barrier, has to go back to last, has to start over $5, which it currently is an equal favourite, and I don't think she hasn't won for a little while now. I don't think she's priced anywhere near where she should be. I've got her marked about $9, so she's a drifter for me, Divine Vicky, and I've got a couple of others on, a few others ahead of her. One I want to play here is the horse at the top, African Daisy. I mentioned this is a glorified midweek race. This is a horse that's been running around in the city, in city class races off a really good trial. That trial behind Parasol Lamb was fantastic at Rose Hill. Comes here, maps okay from barrier 7. I know she has to lug a big weight first up, but I think she's a class horse. I'm not sure we've seen the best of her really yet here in Australia, but I think she can really run well this campaign. If that trial is anything to go by, she'll be hard to beat. 2 from 4 first up, finished 3rd first up last campaign at Warwick Farm. I think she's got the class. I think she's got the map, and I think she'll run well. So $10, $11 or $12 you'll get on Betfair, I think's value. So something each way at number 1, African Daisy, and pretty keen to be against Divine Vicky. I could lay Divine Vicky win and place there as equal favourite, Liam.
As a horse, I'm keen to get your opinion on here. Hell Hath No Fury. That I've always had plenty of time for it. It's only had 1 win in its 11 starts, and it's a healthy 691 days since her last win. but she's a horse that all consistently runs well and consistently puts some strong ratings together. And if you go back to the start of last preparation, if she manages to pull out either of those two ratings, she's puts herself around about the $4 mark here. And we're currently getting $8.50. Any thoughts on that, runner?
Yeah, I'm not surprised you've mentioned her because you're a ratings man, and she does have an enormous peak figure as well. So she just doesn't win, Liam, and she's just overpriced and overbet in all her races. So she's been beaten under $5 in many of her recent runs, and as you said, she's only won one race. Tyler Schiller for Annabelle Neesham. So Annabelle Neesham's got the horse that I mentioned as well. I saw the jockey booking of Tyler Schiller, and I thought that was interesting. I know Brock Ryan with the big weight rides African Daisy, but I did go looking. Maps well, I can't catch this horse, and she's got a boom, and I just want to see her do it before I dive in.
Yeah, fully with you there.
Let's get the Summer Cup, mate. Group 3, 2,000 metres. I've left this race alone. You have a look at the field. They bob up once a campaign. They run against each other all the time. Good luck finding the winner here. Warning hasn't won since you're in diapers. They're just hard horses to catch. I mean, Lions Raw hasn't won over 1,800 metres, and it's favourite at 2,000 here after finishing and finding the line really well last start. What do you make of the race? I've got no idea.
Yeah, Lions Raw's one of mine. I've found him. It's past 2, maybe even 3 starts, and enough's enough. I'm taking my medicine and saying no more because he consistently runs so well and runs home so strong. But when you keep napping like that, you just at some point you just need too much luck. Was very close to making it my lay of the day, but staying out of it just because of that turn of foot that he does possess. But I'll certainly be betting around him. Huetor is a horse that I've got plenty of time for, especially if we happen to get a heavy track. Just absolutely swims through it, so keen to see him there. There's a horse called Regal Light, another Annabelle Neesham runner, and he's had 7 weeks between runs after first up, and first up performances throughout his whole career. You just put a line through, he's an absolutely horrible fresh horse. But second up is where every single one of his peak runs have come. Now, 7 weeks between runs is probably too long to be considered second up, in my opinion. But at $27 currently, I'll be having a small play there just in case. If he produces any of those peak second up runs, he wins this. And as a $27 price, that's pretty crazy. So, as we say, it's a pretty even field. So, I'm going to be having something small, Regal Line. And Huetor is one that I can't back at the $5 mark, but if we drift a little bit before the race, I'll be having him in there. And one that I'll throw in the quaddie is a horse called Baby Rider, only leader in the race. Managed to knock me out of the early quad last run at $20.
You're an early quad man, are you?
Early quad, late quad, all of them, mate. Any of the quads you consider me. And it was the last race of the early quad, knocked me out. So we'll not be letting that happen again. The sole leader, if they happen to be kicking away on the straight. So main bet here, just a small play, Regal Line. Hopefully that second up form comes through.
Can any of these horses win 2 in a row? That's the question. With that sole leader in the race, Baby Rider, mate. Who knows? Regal Line just needs a bone dry track, I think. It's just an absolute dry tracker, so hopefully you get that. But he bobs up every now and then. Obviously won the Ipswich Cup, flew down the outside of Ipswich. That was an amazing win there. So I don't mind that, Liam. Anything else at Randwick? I don't think you're keen to play anything else.
I would love you to take us to Newcastle if you can. Thanks, mate. Find us a little Chrissy present.
One from the trials here, mate. Race 4, number 9, Amaro. Get about 550. Market's just opened. Waller trained, accepted the other day, nominated for a few places, saved here for Newcastle. Race 4, number 9, Amaro. Had 2 trials this time in, Lamb. Been superb, really good, good in both. Got a good grounding for this 1,200 metres first up. 2 trials over 742. Won that trial, then ran home really nicely for 5th over 1,050 metres in that trial. Nice daughter of I'm Invincible, moves really well. Really good rating and really good performance behind Razors on debut. Got clear late, flashed home. It was a really good run. A repeat of that sees her very hard to beat. So, yeah, pretty bullish, Amaro. If you get an each way price, it's fantastic. So, there you go.
Market opened 1 hour ago. Tab went up $7, currently into $5. we'll be pushing the producer, Carl, to get this up and running as soon as possible to get a little Chrissy present for the fans.
Yes, correct, mate. Merry Christmas all. What's your lay for the lay streak, mate?
Lay streak, we've done pretty well the last couple of weeks, couple in a row. I laid Ed in the place last week over in the West. He ran a solid 11th after looking really strong at the top of the straight. You laid Dollar Magic, ran second, but I don't think there would have been any nerves throughout the run. You were cruising there. So this week we got you got 165 to play with. You're going back to Randwick race 4.
Race 4, number 7, Divine Vicky, mates. Yes, Randwick race 4, number 7. Maps to be last. Racing New South Wales, Maps got it last. Completely against Divine Vicky.
Beautiful. And my lay of the lay streak, 192, will be laying against Caulfield race 6. And it is number 3, Junipal. We're going to be laying Junipal the win. So that'll do us for this special light edition, I reckon.
Yeah, light and online. Love it, mate. Thank you for joining me. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Thank you for viewing Lay Back with Betfair. We'll be doing this again. I think we've got New Year's racing, so we might meet up again, Liam, see how your holiday's going. Have a great Christmas to everyone out there and enjoy your holidays. Be safe. Thank you from the Lay Back Betfair team.
Welcome to Lay Back with Betfair. Joined by the A-team, we're back.
What are you really gambling with?